You must learn the ways of the Force.
Star Wars always has these great master-apprentice relationships.
You see that handing down of mastery, the teaching, the developing, the growing.
It's very much the idea of apprenticeship. The need for those two groups to come together in order to pass down the knowledge and to help save the world, in the case of Star Wars.
Those life lessons are what make these characters some of the most iconic characters worldwide.
Ahsoka is a character that Dave Filoni created and worked with George Lucas on in the Clone Wars.
Originally, we didn't really know, exactly what the Clone Wars was going to be, and we made up our own little band of characters. There was a character that was a Jedi, and there was a Padawan, and thought, we'll put them on adventures. But, George had other ideas. He says, well, in this character, and he points to the Padawan we had, and he says, let's give Anakin Skywalker a Padawan. And I was like, Anakin doesn't have Padawan. And he just looked at me and said, Anakin has a Padawan. And that was basically it. That's how Ahsoka came about.
Ahsoka is one of the most well-developed characters in Star Wars, period.
This young teenage girl who was trained to be a keeper of the peace had to become a warrior, worthy of standing next to the greatest Jedi of all time. Ahsoka's story and her growth has mirrored my own. As you see my style of storytelling mature, the stories got more complex. It had grown to the point where I wanted to take what I was doing in animation and really see if I could get it to this type of storytelling that I'd grown up with in Star Wars. Mandalorian Season 1 was a perfect place for me to experiment with my own creativity and style, but have a great backstop and support from collaborating with all these other extraordinary people.
You must reunite it with its own kind.
This is the way.
So when Season 2 came around, I was like, for my episode, I was like, well, I'm gonna do Ahsoka. I'm like, I just need to try this. Let's do it.
For a character that has such depth and complexity, to bring that character to live action made a tremendous amount of sense. George visited the set when we were filming the lightsaber fight in the Japanese garden, Season 2. And I think it was really encouraging of Dave stepping up to this role. And so George would turn to Kathy and myself and be proud of Dave. He was Dave's teacher, and Dave was his apprentice.
You have done well, my new apprentice.